Mhm. Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, maybe. I know.
Hey guys, this is Başak. We are here.
Hello, this is Kate. Here we are.
You put the wrong music, Kate. Did you realize
I
that?
know, I know. I'm
The
all over
old
the place
music.
today. I
That's
know, that's
fine.
right.
That's great. Hi,
So,
everyone. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for listening. We have an incredible, exciting guest. Jeanette, could you please turn your camera on?
maybe. Fingers crossed.
My gosh, there we
Hi.
go.
Hello. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi,
Lovely to
nice to
see you.
have you.
Welcome.
I'm going to read about Jeanette, a short bio here. Jeanette Bonner is an award-winning actor and creative producer working in narrative film, theater, digital content, and podcast. Her productions have been screened at over 80 festivals internationally, including 10 BAFTA, Canadian Screen Award, and Academy Award qualifying festivals. She is the executive producer and creator of 3 original short-form series, one of which, The Scoop, won a Bronze Telly Award for Best Unscripted Online Series and was a final selection for Bravo TV's Pitch and Development Lab in 2017. From 2018 to 2023, she hosted and produced feminist dating podcast #Single, which received a Gold Davy Award for Best Podcast. Jeanette also works as an intimacy coordinator and is trained by SAG Certified Intimacy Directors and Coordinators, IDC. In addition to her freelance work as line producer and a production manager on commercials and film, she consults with directors looking to make their first film. She is inspired by stories that are female forward and is passionate about improving parity representation across the entertainment industry. Welcome, Jeanette.
Thank you for getting through that whole thing.
Amazing. It's great to listen to your own achievements and life story, isn't it?
It is, and it's at the same time, you know, I've worked on that bio a lot. So it's nearly memorized at this point. But I just was a it's funny, how do you sum yourself up succinctly, but at the same time honoring everything you've done? And I was just like, damn, this is long. That's all I was thinking. I was like, this is a long bio, because I've been doing this for over 10 years.
Yep. So that's
And
good. You've done a lot.
still here,
Yes.
man.
Yes. You're still
Wow.
doing, and
Still
yes,
trying.
And
go
I
ahead.
wanted to ask before we get into the questions we already have in the mind, how did you guys meet, Kate and Jeanette? But can you tell your story?
Yeah.
Yeah, just briefly, it was through Only Make Believe, which I was executive director of for a while, and Jeanette came on as an actor, and we crossed over. Did we cross over at any time,
Oh,
or
sure.
we
Yeah. But
did for about a
it was
year?
because I joined in 2013.
Oh, but yes, but I was on the board at that point.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes. So I wasn't actually working day to day. Yes,
That's right. That's
yes. So,
right.
so we never actually were in the rehearsal studio together and all that type of
No.
thing. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Which would have been fun. Which would have been fun. But that's how we met. Yeah.
It would have
Kate,
been.
can you
Yeah, I
tell
know.
about the Only Make Believe's mission just briefly? Because I think many people may not know.
Oh, yes. So it's an organization that takes theater into hospitals and care facilities for kids. And we hire professional actors, there's usually 3 of them, and they go in and perform a play that's written by the people in the organization, about 45 minutes. And it's just to bring joy and love and laughter into these hospital settings. It's simple and profound.
That's
And
beautiful.
Yeah.
Jeanette was a great actress. Are you still working for
I
them?
still am. I
Oh,
still
you
am.
are.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
the key to Only Make Believe, and sometimes I add that in my bio when I'm not talking about the producerial end of my life, but being a teaching artist with Only Make Believe, the key to these shows, a lot of people think we go into these facilities and like perform for the kids, Robin Williams did, and it's not clowning, right? The key is that it's interactive theater. So we're asking the kids to join us in telling the story, and that enables them to expand their imaginations and to help them in their journeys of social and emotional growth as well. And it maybe sound really kind of lofty and theoretical, but I've seen it with my own eyes, and Kate has too, like how much the power of art and theater and play, imaginative play, can help someone in their we don't want to say like healing process, but in their journey towards growth.
That's
It's also
beautiful.
great for the staff too, because when we were writing the plays, we were trying to make jokes that would resonate for the staff as well as the kids. So then to have the staff there laughing with the kids just creates a place that they can share time together that isn't about being sick, but
Yes.
about living in joy. So anyway,
Such a beautiful
yeah,
mission.
yeah.
And you know, you
Yeah.
are, Janet, clearly someone who is on a mission now to tell another story. Would you tell us that story?
Sure thing. So I'm in the middle of fundraising for a short film that I wrote. It will be my directorial debut. I will produce it and I'm going to act in it because why not? I'm going to do all four things
Everything.
because I'm crazy. And the reason I wrote it is based on a true story that happened to me. It was never intended really to be a film, but as I started to share this story, I saw how this story impacted people, and it occurred to me that it needed to be shared with the world. So it's based on a true story of a suitcase mix-up. I was coming back from a trip on a bus in New York City. And my family has this tradition of waving goodbye to family members, departing family members, with a white handkerchief. And this tradition goes back to my grandmother, who went to school in the Bronx with Catholic nuns, and that's what the Catholic nuns did. So we've done this my whole life. So there's my parents standing outside the bus, this like charter bus back to New York, waving me goodbye like I'm going off to kindergarten, humiliating. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys, thank you. I love you. Goodbye. And this woman on the bus, unbeknownst to me, took a video of this exchange, and she shared it with her mom. She later told me that it reminded her that our parents never stop loving us or looking after us, even after we're all grown up. She sent it to her mom. They had a moment of connection, and she meant to let me know about this. But I ran away because I'm a New Yorker. I'm like, let me get out of here as fast as I can. And I had mistakenly take her suitcase. And so when we figured it out, I have a luggage tag on my bag. She does not. She called me. She's like, you have my bag. I met up with her and she said, oh, it's you. And I said, yeah, I'm the lady that took your bag. She said, no, I want to tell you about this moment I had, and I wanted to say thank you. So it was just this uncanny coincidence story. It took on a greater relevance or resonance because my father passed away 5 months later. So this happened before we even knew he was sick. I now have this video, it's very cherished video of not only my father just, literally saying goodbye to me, but doing a family tradition that I've had my whole life that was so eye rolly that I never thought I'd want a video of it, and now it's very dear to me. So this is a true story of genuine connection and kindness in a disconnected world, and I felt more than ever this would be a time to get something uplifting out into the universe.
Wow. Wow.
So beautiful. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Like what you said was true. Whoever can hear the story, it's impossible not to relate to it and not to get emotional about it. So beautiful. Thank you for
I've had a
sharing with
lot of
us and with the
people.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had, a lot of people have shared me emails and messages and phone calls saying that it touched, especially people that have lost someone, it touches them in a sort of unnameable way. I think it just sort of reminds us to appreciate what we have, or if you've lost someone, to sort of reflect on that loss and what it means to have something to hold on to remember someone by.
So when you were, I don't know why I want to dig into this because I find it fascinating, but when you were on the bus, you had no awareness of this woman. Was she behind you?
No, yeah, she was several rows behind me.
But
Yeah.
yet, but yet your bags were together above.
No, bags under the suitcases underneath the bus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, under the
They
bus.
dump them off. I was
Oh,
coming back
yes.
from
And they
Maryland
look
to New York
the
City.
same suitcase,
It was
pretty
the
much.
same suitcase. And it's one of those things people were like, why didn't you check? I'm like, this suitcase is intentionally very unique. It is pink. It is a houndstooth print. It is a soft shell. Like people, I know the suitcase that everyone has that matches everyone else. It is not that. So I didn't think twice. I saw it, I grabbed it.
Just
And
she
it's
has that
really,
same
you know,
exact, like
that's-
unique suitcase.
yes, yeah,
You
it was
must be the
just
same person. This is crazy.
she really said, she was like, I feel like this, I feel like you were meant to take my bag so that we were forced to connect and have this conversation.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like I said, funny coincidence story, kind of amusing story to share at dinner with friends or something like that. But really, this story has taken on a different meaning in retrospect.
Yeah.
So you also believe that this is probably not a coincidence. I mean, we always say, Kate and I, nothing is a coincidence, but this is like such an amazing example of that. Um, do you believe in this? Do you believe in this higher power?
I think I have to. I mean, I can't the story is so uncanny that I have to really think that there was an invisible hand guiding that moment, right? Because like I said, the thing that really gets me is that at this time in December, no, we didn't know my dad was sick, right? So it's just how else do you explain it? It's just there's too much happening in the story in the circumstances that I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words. All I can say is I think that was like there was an intervention of the universe to sort of, like I said, guide us back together so that I could have this experience.
Were you able to see your dad after the diagnosis and even show him the video
Oh,
or?
sure. I mean, I sent
Yes.
them the
Okay.
video that night. I was
Oh,
like, you're
you
not
did.
going to believe what happened. this is a funny, I called them immediately.
Yes.
And yeah, of course, it wasn't, a lot of people are mistaken the story as like, this was the final moment that I saw my father. And that's not true. I was with
Yeah.
him through his illness. And certainly, several days before his death, I was there, in Maryland. So it wasn't a final goodbye by any means.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but the timeline is quite short, between December and May. Um, if let's say in a different universe, like I had received this video in 2021 and then my father passed away in 2025, could I really have strung those two things back together? I don't know,
Yeah.
but because it happened within months of my father passing, like I said, you can't help but think back and go, there was some other element here, some unnameable element that is part of this story, I think.
Yeah.
Wow. And I'm curious, you said that this whole handkerchief waving is kind of an eye roll for younger generation, I guess. Is
I
that
mean, it's
now
the same
not
as
that way?
it's like your parents dropping you off at school,
But
and you're like, or when
but
they
is
do
your
this.
perspective change on that? Will you continue that tradition?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I was even just in sharing this story, saying that I think a lot of us have family traditions that we take for granted, whatever that may be, right? And it's a thing that you're sort of like, my family does this thing. We're so strange. We're so weird, right?
Yeah.
But in the wake of zooming out from that or potentially losing that, you suddenly realize, especially as a grown up, wow, I'm really glad we have this one thing that brings this is a common language that my family shares and understands that we don't have to explain. It's sort of when anyone is departing, my aunt and uncle visiting for the holidays, we go stand in the driveway. Everyone goes, "You have a tissue in your pocket? You got tissue? Okay, good. You ready? Yeah." I mean, and it's a farce because we all know it's happening. We all pretend it's not about to happen. And then the car drives away. We whip out the tissues. And it got to the point, my grandmother literally had a white pom pom, like a cheerleader pom pom, that she was like, she called it the waiver. And it's to this day, it hangs on a peg in the garage in case you've forgotten your tissue. You know, the waiver comes out.
Did your grandmother ever explain did the nuns ever explain to her why? What is that based on? Is there some kind of religious thing or?
No, and I had to like put the pieces back together as I was writing the script. I reached out to my uncle and I was like, "Where did this come from? Who inherited it? Do you know why we do this?" And then he's the one that said she went to Secret Heart in the Bronx and the nuns did this. And then I tried to look this up and it comes back from Our Lady of Fatima in a Catholic procession on the anniversary of the death of Saint Fatima, specifically coming to like in Portugal, they wave the crowds, the all of the clergy, the nuns, they all wave a white handkerchief, and the white handkerchief is representational of a peaceful goodbye.
Beautiful.
Now, who started that? I have no idea any further than that. Like, who started this in the first
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
place?
Oh, that's
I
very
have no
cool.
idea. But
That's
I
very
know
cool.
now specifically that it is
Yeah.
affiliated with the Catholic Church and
Yeah.
Catholic nuns specifically. No one has ever said the priests wave a handkerchief. It is just the
The
nuns.
nuns, yes.
Yeah, yeah. There's very
Incredible.
few explanations and footage on the old internet to try to trace this back. But I found a little bit, and it seems to come from the tradition of Fatima.
So,
Interesting.
like we talk about, this is not a coincidence and everything has a purpose. And, you know, one of the purposes for your, I guess, last goodbye, that you have this special connection with your father. What is that connection with your father? Like, how was your connection, and how is it today, when you know, even though he passed, there's this amazing moment, and you are now really honoring that, cherishing that memory. Like, how does that relationship, or the grief, in other words, evolved? I know I'm asking too many things, but take whatever you can.
No, it's a beautiful question. It's a tricky question too. I mean, I think certainly in working with this film, I've had a lot of moments to reflect back on his role in my life and my role without him, or my place in the world without him. And and I think the one thing that I keep coming back to, and I think this film is part of that too, is that my father was like always taking care of us, right? Like the it's the same thing that the woman picked up on the bus. Like, why would a grown man come? My mother was there too, by the way. I don't mean to, she's
That's,
there. She had a
yeah.
white scarf and she was weirdly waving the end of the scarf like this. Um, you know, why would parents need to wave their child off at the bus stop who is a grown woman? You know what I mean? That it's just comes from a genuine, clean, pure place of parental love.
Mhm.
I don't have children, so I can't match that feeling to something else. But thinking, I think all the time of all of the things he did that were in the name of caring for my family at large, but my brother and me specifically, my mother.
Mhm.
I'll mention this very briefly, but I don't think I've ever really talked about it with anyone. My father created this black binder called the Letter of Instructions. I'm not kidding you. Like, and he showed it to us before he died. He was like, when I die, I need you to find this black binder, massive tome, about like what to do in the eventuality of my death. And it was a literal step-by-step guide. So number one, call my brother. Here's the phone number. Number two, call the church. Here's the phone number. And I think about the strength that it would take for a husband, a father to sit down and tell his family what to do when I die. And my God, did we need that binder, because we were messy. And I was like, we didn't know what to do. My mother and I were just staring at each other crying. And I just remember Dad told us to get the binder. Went to the binder. Okay, what do we do today? We'll make a phone call, you know? And I thought that's like the ultimate gesture or action of caring for someone. Being able, writing that now terrifies me. Like telling your loved ones while you're alive, here's what you need to do so that you don't panic or you don't worry or you don't stress. Thinking that through for us,
Yeah.
what a generous act of love. So
Wow.
I think all of that is sort of wrapped up in this gesture of waving the handkerchief, being at the bus stop,
Yeah.
humiliating me, despite the fact that he didn't care. He didn't care if he embarrassed me for the rest of my life. You know, like that's,
Yeah.
I'm so happy I had a father like that. A lot of people do not get to have that kind of person in their life. And
Yeah.
more than anything, all my relationship to it is a place of appreciation and gratitude.
Amazing. Do you have brothers and sisters, or are you an only child?
No, I have a brother. He's 18 months younger than I am, so we're very close in age.
Okay. Okay. So he was
Yeah.
there with it all too. Wow.
Yes, and essential too.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone deals with the loss of a parent without a sibling. It was just so much. My mom was beside herself. So to really the people to um, deal with what we call the business of death, which is truly like, you know, it's the paperwork and the phone calls and the filing and all that stuff and organizing. Um, if I had to do that alone, I don't know what I would have done. So I think about that a lot. I think about my friends, my present friends that only have one child. It's not fair to say that the child's responsibility is to do this for the parent, but that is what happens at the end of the day, right? The family member has have to step in somehow, and having him as a partner was,
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it into words. I will never uh, stop appreciating him for being there by my side, and probably, you know, vice versa.
Vice versa.
To us, the two of us handling it together. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, the fact that he was there, like his supportive, his kind nature, even after his passing, is there with you. Even I wondered through this film that you are making, how is that relationship? Is it still you? Do you still feel that? How is that affecting the movie? And what is that to you?
Yeah, I want to say, because you very generously sent me some of your questions you might ask me before the podcast, and I looked them over, and there's that one question. I don't have it in front of me, but it stopped me in my tracks. It was sort of like, how has this film helped you with your grieving process? I was like, woof. That's a question I hadn't really considered, or asked myself. Like, what role is this film in my process of grieving?
Mhm.
And I think I don't know that it necessarily addresses grieving is going to be grieving regardless, right? But being able to express, I say like sometimes when I've been talking about the film, I say this is me sharing my dad's legacy of love with me, right? This is just sort of underscoring everything I sort of just said to you. To me, is saying like I had this wonderful gift in my life, and now I want to share it a little bit with other people in the way that they can receive it, right? So it's not that it's helped me grieve. It's just that it's been part of my story to acknowledge and appreciate um, this person in my life, the role that he played, and the fact that he lives in me in a certain way, right? So, like we always say that like people live on through our own love and generosity, right? So, how can I share that with other people
Mhm.
now at this point? That's sort of
Yeah.
around the question, I think.
No, no, and and just hearing this other story about the black book, I feel almost like, so your dad created this black binder, and
Yeah.
you're very much your father's daughter. You're creating this movie, like you both, like he had to make something so to show you the way, and you're making this film to help other people sort of negotiate how it is when you lose a parent,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah. Yeah,
It's-
I think one of the things that people have, as I started losing my father, people reached out and said, I lost my father recently, or I lost my mother, and I sort of empathize with you, and I understand the feeling that you're going through. And I think that one of the things I learned is that we just don't have a language. We don't have a shared language. It's really hard. Even in people trying to express their comfort and sympathy for you, people are just wordless.
I know.
It's very weird.
It
This
is
one
very good.
specific human experience that we all experience together, we can't figure out how to talk about it or how to explain how it makes us feel. And so I think film is a wonderful vehicle. I think sometimes when you just need to say like, well, I've got these thoughts and feelings about losing my parent, but maybe seeing it as a parable in this movie will help people kind of attach to whatever it is that feels like. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
finding storytelling is the way. I really
Sure.
feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I also wanted to ask about the other aspect, this kind of connection that came about. This woman showed up like an angel and brought this upon, this mix up and this connection. Do you still talk to this person? Do you have did you meet afterwards? What is the situation there?
No, and you're not the first person to ask me that because I didn't keep her number.
Oh,
Why would I? It was just this strange exchange. She texted me a video, and then I probably deleted I don't know. I don't have it. I never got her name. In
mm,
the film, she's just referred to as woman.
yeah.
I don't
How
have
did
an
you
I
exchange the bags if you weren't physically?
so I had my luggage tag. She called me, and of course I see this random number pull up, like any normal person in the world. Ignore, call
Yes.
again, ignore. Who are you? Third time, I was like, I don't know who this is, and I'm going to tell them off. And I'll pick up the phone, and I was like, hello. She's like, you have my bag, right? I unzip it. I'm literally standing on the platform waiting for the E.
Yeah.
I'm popping up. Oh my God, you're right. So I'm like, where are you? I just was about to get on the train. I'll meet you on the street. So we met up in front of Madison Square Garden. Very romantic, I know.
It's good
And
for the movie, though. It's good
just
for the
like
movie.
Sleepless in Seattle, but ground level. We meet up in front of Madison Square Garden. And then she said, "Oh, it's you, right?" Because I don't think she made the connection that I was the person that she took a video of, right? And then she said, "I wanted to share this with you but you took off so fast." So she said, "What's your number? Let me text it to you." And she shared it with me that way. And then we said,
Dedicated.
"Happy holidays. Thank you so much. Glad we had this moment. Peace out." There was no need to carry on the relationship. Like I
Mhm.
said, I should have been nicer and asked her name, I guess. But she didn't ask mine. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really just an
Yeah.
exchange. It was just an exchange. I know, because some people are romanticizing it and being like, what if she finds your film? What if
Yes.
it comes across her world and she's like, that's my
If
story?
she's
I
your
don't know.
soulmate, yeah.
And maybe
I
it
don't know
changed
her
her in
name.
so many ways that you don't even know, and that would be the follow-up film.
I
Yeah,
think
I
it would
do,
be
right?
interesting if she sees the film and
Yeah.
contacts you. That would be great. And if she's
That, I
listening
mean, then
this,
I would truly believe in the magic of the universe because that would be un beyond uncanny. Like, how did this make its way to you? I don't know.
incredible.
She's
Where
a
were
New
you?
Yorker. That's all I know.
Were you coming from Maryland? Were you? Was the bus coming from Maryland? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. She's in the.
Um,
Wow.
uh, yeah, yeah. I don't know, but it's kind of, I almost like the fact that she's anonymous because I don't know if you were able to watch my pitch video on my campaign site,
Yeah,
but yeah, that line of like, I considered, what if this woman was one of these, sometimes we just meet people in our lives and they're angel is a strong word and it has a lot of affiliations with a lot of people, including religion. But if you remove the religion out of it, it's just a sort of magical entity being that can guide you on the right path. And I'm like, I think about this all the time. The fact that this woman is anonymous, to me at least, right? I don't know who she is. She came into my life for a very specific moment, for a very specific reason.
yeah,
And then I've never seen her again. I've never
Yes.
talked to her. And then, so you got to wonder, it's like, I don't know, man. It's just, so
yeah,
that's why I posed the question, like, what if there were angels in your life disguised as regular human beings in
yeah.
regular moments? Would you be able to recognize it for what it is?
Mhm.
Because I've thought about that sometimes. I just think
Mhm.
about, I wonder if she was sent to me. I don't know.
Definitely, definitely she was. I want to talk about your movie. So when is the release date? When is it coming? Where people can watch it? All that stuff.
Oh, wait, this one that I haven't made yet?
She hasn't made it yet.
Yeah, but I think you need to have a timeline, no? You need
Oh,
to have
okay,
a,
okay.
vision of when do you want to put it out?
Yes,
Yes,
sure.
yes.
Okay, I can talk
I'm
about
This is
that.
thinking
where
So
like
like,
yoga,
Christmas
you
time.
you 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 decide and then it will happen.
I love it. Yeah, no,
Okay.
to be fair, I do have some dates lined up because you do have to have a trajectory and like think about where you're headed, right? So the story is set around the holidays. So in keeping with that, I want to do it in January. Because I think there will be less people on the street. Filming outside on the street is really difficult. I need a bus stop. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but I need a bus stop and I really would love to shoot in front of Madison Square Garden if it's possible.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of it being dark and then kind of maybe picking up on like holiday lights or at least like lights in the background to give it this kind of ethereal feeling, if you will. Um, so mid January is what I'm sort of banking on. Also, January in the entertainment industry is always pretty dead, so I'm hoping I can get the people that I want.
Yeah.
That's yes. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, when you work backwards, you're working on producing a short film. I always say 6 weeks is the minimum for your pre-production. So that means probably top of December, I'm gonna start doing the work. Once the campaign ends on Friday and I know how much funding we're looking at, I'll have a better idea of how to start the next step of
Yeah.
the journey. But yeah, should
So,
be diving in pretty soon.
so you about the funding, tell us about where people can fund and how can they find your short on that movie that they can watch and they can also contribute.
You can put a link if you tell us, etc. Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy to let me know how. I'll send it over to you. I'm also happy to throw it in the chat right now if it's easier. But
Sure.
essentially, it's being hosted on Seed and Spark with an ampersand. And so the web address, the link is seedandspark/fund/suitcase. However, if that's too many slashes, I also have it linked to my website. My production company is called Kelly's Pool Hall Productions. I am not Kelly. I do not own a pool hall. You would be shocked how many people think that that is a thing. Kelly's Pool Hall Productions /suitcase will get you there as well.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Can we just and you just that is the standing name of the film right now? Is that the working title?
I think I want Suitcase. Someone actually wrote me an email, total stranger that found the film on the Seed and Spark platform, and reached out to me and wanted to let me know how much the story and the campaign moved him. And he said something very what's the word I want?
Um,
Very no,
No,
um,
very
I hate when this
interesting,
happens.
very
Beyond interesting. It was very poignant to him and very,
poignant. Yeah.
very resonant to him. Or very resonant to me, I should say. He said, I love the name Suitcase because maybe this story is not necessarily what we carry, but what we choose to put down.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
that was such a I was like, I can't believe you gleaned that from my story. But yeah, the suitcase is a metaphor,
Yes.
really. It's something you carry with you, right? What does a suitcase hold? Like it holds the things of your life, the
Mhm.
things that your valuables, the things that you care that hold dear to you. So I think just suitcase tells it has multiple meanings.
Yes.
And if I came up with something a little more snazzy and Lifetime movie. It wouldn't feel
Yeah.
good. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
the story speaks for itself.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to me. I'm like if people know the story, that's it. That's all there is to it. It's just a
Suitcase.
beautiful story that I want to share. Yeah.
So
And
beautiful.
it's
Yeah.
go ahead. Go no, no.
Well, I was thinking that, when a dear one passes, most of us, the reaction is, just having that grief very internal and almost hide that grief from the outside world and just do it alone on your own or just with your
Yeah.
close family members. For you to, like, it's just so brave, I think, and also such a love letter to your father to bring this story into the world.
Mhm.
And keep him still alive through that story. It's just so, there's something amazingly, I don't know, gratifying and new and, like, revolutionary about it too, in terms of death of a loved one.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you. Like I said, it's never like this moment happened to me and I thought this would make a great film, but in sharing the story, in hearing people's reaction to it, that's when I started to realize I think this story might be bigger than me.
Mhm.
And I feel a little bit as artists that when you have a story that is worth sharing or something that is bigger than yours, then you do have a little bit of responsibility.
Mm,
I just feel like in especially in our modern world, like at the end of the day, the storyteller is king. This is what it comes back to. You can be distracted by 80 million things, but at the end of the day, our culture moves on because we have storytellers, and however you want to interpret that. But I really believe in the value and the importance of sharing stories with the world and helping people find connection through those stories. Like you may be deaf to all sorts of news and articles and opinions, but you can see a story or a film or a play or read a good book and be completely and utterly moved in a different way. So as disconnected as our society is, as it continues to be, I really believe that this is the thing that we have to come back to over and over again. This is what's going to keep us together as a society, as a whole, as humans. We're in this together.
mm. But it's so
Right.
beautiful. You're
Amen,
like
sister.
completed this whole conversation in such a, actually right on time
Yeah.
and in a most beautiful, profound way. Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
very welcome.
Yeah,
You're
this
very
is
welcome.
amazing. I'm so happy to have reconnected with you too, Jeanette.
Me
This is
too.
lovely. I know, very
I have to
exciting.
I have to give all credit to Anthony.
Yes.
Anthony was the one I was like, have you reached out to Kate Hall? I was like, I don't think I have Kate's email address.
Yeah.
So thank you. I'm so glad this happened as well. I'm
Thank you.
really grateful to be invited into your community, share my story with other people that you know. Like I said, I'm just trying to get the message out to as many people as possible, and I appreciate that you're here and listening to me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. Shall we get on with the rest of our day?
I gotta go raise some money.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's raise
Very
some
important.
money.
You have not that much more to go, but we need people to log on and any amount, right?
Yeah.
$10, $20, $1,000
Yeah,
will
we love
all
a
be
thousand
used well.
dollars.
Yes, that would be really good. That'd be really good. All right, thank you so much,
Thank you
Jeanette. This
so
was
Thank
much,
wonderful.
you.
ladies. Appreciate you so much, and we will stay in touch.
Yes, absolutely. All right, a little music on our way out. The
Yes.
old music. Ooh. Bye,
All
bye,
music.
Doug.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye, Jeanette.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye. Talk